Hi, I was hoping we were going to start with a video, so we could roll that. I really like this video right here. This is actually me right here, but this started as an experiment before I began working at YouTube, because I had this idea about video. I kept thinking that if you could figure out a simple formula that you could do over and over and over and over again, that you could be successful when it comes to online video. And I think there's 300,000 some odd views on this, and this is a safe, legal wall. There weren't any walls hurt in this process. But this was shot in an hour. And then we just time-lapsed it up, we stick it to some music, and we threw the videos up, but it became this replicated form of doing something over and over and over again that I didn't have to think about every single time. And I've done, I don't know, like 23 of these. And the slides that, that I'm going to run through here are really going to point towards these ideas that I have about things that really work well when it comes to video. So I'm just going to talk about video. I could talk about lots of great things here. And a lot of the themes that I've heard discussed this morning actually play into this very well. So, okay, so as seen on YouTube, many of you watch YouTube all the time, and it's great. I hope you've learned and been inspired by it. I think that YouTube is the epicenter of creative innovation right now, because you can watch it, you can see it, and when you put something up there, you want lots of people to see it. So I think this might advance me here. That's the other one here. All right, so owning the show with clarity. So not too long ago, there was a Domino's video that popped up, and it showed these kids in the Domino's doing some really reprehensible things. The president of Domino's immediately came out and was like, wait, this is an isolated incident. This isn't something that represents us as a brand. So by coming out with this authentic voice really quickly, he immediately just owned the show. He stopped this other dialogue that was going on and forced everybody to look over at him. And I thought that was extremely important. And anybody who messes around with a big, giant brand like that, I mean, you have to be prepared to come to terms with the language and dialogue that's going to come back at you. So I work at Google. Google is this giant company that's got these, brilliant engineers, and all of these engineers come up with this great stuff all the time. And advertisers come to me. My job in particular is to come up with the best ideas across all of Google, including YouTube, and how these brands can actually be part of what Google is, because it's so pervasive, right? But one of the things that I have up there, you can barely see the word, but it's transparency. And it's not the technology to worry about, it's the trust. And so often, people want to over-engineer the simplest thing. And I go back to this all the time, but simple human truths are always going to kick the shit out of anything else that might be out there. It's so simple to do, and it makes so much sense. And I threw this little line in there: a world without Google is a world full of liars. And I really do believe that, because there's no bar bet in the world that can't be settled within a minute right now on my iPhone. So, but it's really true. But the thing is that I can go and disprove anything that you might say about your brand or your project or your design theory, or I can substantiate it as well. So I think that those things work very well together, and that's what I personally feel is one of the best things about Google. So, common ground. One of the things that we've been faced with is that YouTube is always trying to make money. I mean, everybody's seen this kind of public spectacle of how much it costs to get YouTube and when's it going to pay off and all these things like that. We, and me in particular, really try to foster this idea that we have no boundaries at YouTube, and that's the reason why we're worth anything. Because you can put us anywhere, and at the same time, what you see here is this is a campaign that was run out of just the UK, but it's Facebook. I mean, it's Facebook on YouTube, and I mean, the Friend Connect, one of the best attributes of Facebook, was built directly into this. Why not? Of course. I mean, we just did something recently with Volvo and Twitter as well, and I hope to see more and more and more of those things as these walls dissolve. So the common ground, and I really do believe that the best attributes of all these big, giant, monstrous, huge, impactful sites out there really do become blurred, and it's just the best parts of all of them that we get to focus on. So yeah, fun for friends, fans, followers, connections, subscribers, whatever. It's funny because all those names really mean the same thing. At the end of the day, it's just I have chosen to be part of what you're talking about. So, so I think that's pretty impactful, and this is just one example of it.